I want to switch gears a little bit. Now we've been talking about lots of good stuff, but I also wanted to ask you about changes in the industry. So as we know,
Mhm.
multifamily is always constantly changing and we're adapting to using a lot more technology and things like that. So how do you see leadership evolving to meet the industry's changing demands?
I Well, a couple things. One, let's talk about the technology just in general. First of all, I love technology. I may be somebody who's been around for a while, but I'm a techie gadget person. I love every new thing that comes out and I want to try it out and see how it works. What I think we need to do as leaders is I think we need to really make a decision that makes sense when it comes to adapting technology. First of all, any consulting gig I go into, the first thing we look at is I call it first do no harm. So, are we implementing something that's actually going to become a burden to the site, or are we implementing something that's going to help them? We need to look at that. I think we need to be looking at a lot more technology that actually takes the volume of work off of the site team. Everybody talks about centralizing and things that way. I'm not sure even how much of that we have to do if we could just take some of the volume off of the folks on site. And there's a lot of technology out there that will do it. Unfortunately, that's not the stuff that we tend to buy. And if we don't tend to buy it, then the companies that are providing these things aren't going to make it. Because face it, they come up. I've worked on the prop tech side a lot. And a lot of times you'll have a group of people who are basically sitting in a room going, okay, what can we sell next? And they're not necessarily, I don't mean this in an evil way, they're not necessarily sitting there saying, okay, how can we make this whole process work better? They may not even understand the process at all. They might just have something that they've invented and they're trying to see how a huge industry like multifamily could use it and become customers of theirs. So we have to be very aware of that. Another thing, too, is I really feel like a lot of times our leadership needs to open their doors a little bit when they're deciding on new technology and bring people from the site in during the demos and during the decision making process. Because I find a lot of our platforms are really complicated out on the site and actually add to their workload instead of taking away. And then I may go back to the corporate office and say, hey, this is an issue out there. And they're saying, no, we were told that we have this in our property management software and it'll just do it. But they don't understand that just doing it isn't what the site needs. They have to go through 12 steps in order for it to just do it. So we need to look at a lot of those things. Like I said, anything that'll make it easier on the sites will make reporting more efficient. There's nothing worse. I was in an office a couple of days ago, and I was looking at this email that it took the property manager 4 hours to put together, and not because she was messing around, she was just trying to get it all done. So it took her 4 hours to get the right reports pulled and for the right dates and make sure everything was in there and everything was right to send over to the owner. That should be an automated process where she should just be able to click a button and automatically all of those reports get generated. Frankly, it should automatically attach to the email she's going to send, or maybe it just sends it itself. A lot of times with sales, people are having to put together sales reports, even though they have all of the information, and nobody really has to do anything more than just click a couple of buttons and just have that stuff produced. So we're really missing the mark on this. We have all this great technology available and we're not even using it. But what happens is everybody wants to grab the shiny object. So the cool thing, that technology, we tend to just buy because we think our residents are going to want it. And a lot of times I'm not even sure we're asking the residents if that's what they want. I think leadership really needs to take a look at all of that. And by the way, there are a lot of great leaders out there who are doing this. So if you're one of them, please, I'm not talking about you. I think what happens though is, especially post pandemic, everybody is getting just slammed constantly with all of this new stuff. And it's hard to keep up with it. Personally, if it were me, I would take a break and I would actually come up with a plan for what it is that we would be looking for in order to take our company to the next level, and also have a matrix that we use whenever we make a decision. And I would take that and utilize it for at least the next year and actually stack everything according to the goal we're trying to reach.